Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you to the World Teachers Quiz Know It All. Before we move any further into the second edition of this fantastic initiative from the TeacherTribe.world, it is our pleasure and privilege to introduce to you our host, a passionate knowledge show host, writer, author, poet. She's the co-founder and senior editor of the TeacherTribe.world. She is also the only professional woman quiz host across Asia. With over 300 shows across 50 destinations of India and overseas, she enjoys a huge fan following now with students and teachers. From being a co-host of the Tata Crucible to several other corporate shows, the Teacher's Quiz is something that is very close to her and she's passionate about. She was rated by Business World as a 40 under 40 for content creators a year ago and was also conferred the iconic Woman Creating a Better World for All award by the Women Economic Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, here to grill you all, please welcome one and only Rashmi Furtado.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second edition of the World Teachers Quiz Know It All, brought to you by TeacherTribe.world in association with CLLE, TCS ION and ICSL. We were amazed by the participation we had in the first edition, and that pushed us to go forward with the next edition of the quiz. And with your support and blessings, we hope to make this an annual event. We have completed 3 semi-finals already, and I have identified 3 world finalists. Now it's time for us to identify the 4th person who will join them into the world final. Let me start by introducing our semi-finalists to you. First up, we have Shikha Bhatnagar from Indian School, Muscat. Following her is Vidya Jeffrey from Indian School, Muscat. Up next is Mukti Goyal from DPS Modern Indian School, Doha. Completing this lineup is Dr. Narayanan from Indian School, Al Gubra, Muscat. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we know our semi-finalists now. Let me get into the rules of the game. All the questions here today are on the buzzers, plus 50, minus 50, the scoring pattern. Single attempt per question only, and if none of them press the buzzer within 5 to 7 seconds of me asking the question, I will move on to the next question. They are free to press the buzzers while I'm still reading out the question, but once they do so, I will stop reading the question. First round of this quiz, unlock the mind. Here we go. If you're ready to start the first round of this quiz, unlocking the mind, question number 1, visuals for all of them, and I have corresponding questions that go along with the visuals. Scoring pattern has been explained already. Question number 1 on the screen now. Who created this design or blueprint of helicopter? It's a design. I have Vidya on the buzzer. Go ahead.
Da Vinci, Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonardo da Vinci, giving her the first plus 50. She's absolutely right. She gets a plus 50 on that. Of the many designs that he created, this particular blueprint of helicopter was created by Leonardo da Vinci. Moving on, the next question of the semi-final. Here we go. This dance, known as the celestial dance, is performed by the graceful Apsaras. Which country does this take place in, or does it originate from? They are known as the Apsaras, and it's called the celestial dance. All right, time's up. No one going on the buzzer. I really thought this may not be very difficult because their headgears and all that are very indicative towards a certain country. Cambodia, the answer I was looking for. If I'm reading their faces correctly, I think they had Cambodia in the mind but did not want to take that risk. Not a problem, long way to go, many more questions remaining. Question number 3 on your screens now. Identify this great invention in the field of communication. Dr. Narayanan, go ahead.
Morse code machine.
The Morse code machine, he says, taking a negative on that. Good guess. Good guess. I understand why you say the Morse code, because we have seen that, I think, in many movies as well, where the tapping happens. Your guess is not really way off. But the answer I was looking for is the telegraph. Telegraph would have given you that plus 50. Telegraph, the answer I was looking for. Dr. Narayanan taking a negative on that. But like I said earlier, long way to go. Question number 4 on your screens now. Johannes Vermeer, a Dutch painter, created this beautiful world-famous painting. Identify the painting. The name of this painting. If I'm not wrong, there is a movie that was created based on this painting. And don't hold me on it, but I think Scarlett Johansson was the one who played the character. The main character, at least. Oh, no one going on that. Honestly, this isn't very difficult. The name of the painting is right there on your screen. The answer I was looking for is Girl with the Pearl Earring. That is the name of the painting. It's a world famous painting actually. Well, no one taking their chances on that. Moving on, question number 5. Here we go. This movie is based on whose life? Shikha, go ahead, ma'am.
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali, plus 50 on that. She's absolutely right. She takes a plus 50. Moving on, the last question of this round on screen now. Which brand can this lamp named Luxo Junior? Shikha, again, go ahead.
Pixar.
Pixar, she knows her animation well. Absolutely right. Plus 50 on that. She gets another plus 50. Honestly, if you watch a lot of animation movies, towards the end or the beginning, you will find the Luxo Junior come on the screen right there. Plus 50 on that. Moving on to the second round of this quiz. Here we go. Setting the pace. Before starting this next round, let me quickly tell you where all of the contestants stand. I have Shikha leading with 100 points and Vidya on 50. Dr. Narayanan ended up taking a negative, but that was not a bad guess. We're just on the second round of the quiz. Let's see what happens. First question of this round on your screen now. A tome sode is the most formal version of what? What you're seeing on your screen is a tome sode. The original pronunciation is a tome sode. Vidya, go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, kimono.
Kimono, she's absolutely right. She gets a plus 50 on that. Kimono is the answer I was looking for. Moving on, question number 2. Here we go. Identify this professional tennis player who won. Dr. Narayanan, go ahead, sir.
Steffi Graf.
Steffi Graf, he knows his sports trivia well, plus 50 on that. Doing well, he now has neutralized the negative he had taken earlier, and that takes him on nil. And honestly, if you ask me, it's a good position to be in a quiz, because then you can build into the positives quite easily. Moving on, question number 3 on your screen now. Originating in the United States, this style of dance has a dancer wearing shoes fitted with a heel. Mukti, go ahead.
Tap dance.
Tap dance, and plus 50 on that. She's absolutely right. Tap dance is absolutely right. Moving on, question number 4. Here we go. Which company gave the world the mobile phone? Mukti, go ahead.
Motorola.
That ended with a question mark, but you're
Motorola.
right. Plus 50. Motorola is the answer I was looking for, and the model name of the first phone, or first mobile phone they came up with, is Dynatac. That is what they came up with, and Motorola gives her the plus 50. Let's move on. Question number 5 on your screen now. Which sport was played with these originally? Dr. Narayanan, go ahead.
Basketball.
Basketball, giving him a plus 50 in his basket is absolutely right. Plus 50 on that. This is actually James Naismith. He was the one who created the sport or game of basketball, and originally the baskets were not really open at the end, and every time they had a basket they had to go on top, remove the ball and come back and continue playing. But one fine day the basket gave way, and then you know the rest is history. Plus 50 on that to Dr. Narayanan. Moving on to the last question of this round on your screens now. Identify this world leader. Vidya, go ahead, ma'am.
Margaret Thatcher.
Absolutely right. Margaret Thatcher, the answer I was looking for. Plus 50 on that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with 2 rounds of quizzing. But before we move on to the next round, let me quickly tell you where all of our semi-finalists stand. Vidya currently, with that last answer, she's leading the quiz at 150 points. I have Shikha and Mukti, both of them on 100 points each. They're not far behind. Dr. Narayanan is also inching closer. He's on 50 points. Moving on to the next round of the quiz, saluting the educators. Here we go. As the title suggests, this entire round is going to be about educators and education. One thing that I would like to inform all you teachers is that along with visuals, we have blocks that will indicate the number of letters in the answer. So that will also serve as a clue to all of you. Question number 1 on your screen now. Identify this great educator. Vidya on the buzzer. Go ahead.
Helen Keller. No, sorry, Anne Sullivan. Anne Sullivan.
Well, neither Helen Keller nor Anne Sullivan will fit into the blocks over there, and she takes a negative on that. The answer I was actually looking for is Maria Montessori. Maria Montessori is the answer. What actually I think got you off track is this is a photograph of Maria Montessori from when she was younger. That was the trick I played, and that is what we quizmasters usually do. But Maria Montessori would have given you that plus 50. Unfortunately, she takes a minus 50 on that. Moving on, question number 2. Here we go. Identify the author. You, your child and school. Navigate your way to the best education. Identify the author. Great educator. Oh, I thought this was easy. No one going on the buzzer over there, and time's up. The answer I was looking for is Ken Robinson. or Sir Ken Robinson? I thought it was quite easy given that I had given the number of blocks there. Anyway, moving on. Question number 3 on your screen now. This is Frederick Frobel. He is the founder of a certain system of teaching that's in existence to this day in most schools. He started the first of its kind in Germany during the 1930s. What am I talking about? It's an easy answer. We often end up complicating the questions, but the answers are usually easy. Oh, no one going on that as well. I think no one wants to take a negative at this juncture. Time's up. The answer I was looking for is kindergarten. Frederick Frobel is the one who was the first person who came up with kindergarten. Hence, I said it is in existence to this day in most schools. All right, the last question on this round. Somehow, the educators round has turned out to be a little difficult one. The last question, here we go. Identify the famous scholarship. Huge clue on your screen. Vidya, go ahead.
The Rhodes.
Plus 50. Plus 50, she's absolutely right. She quickly makes up the negative that she took and she's back in the lead with 150 points. Rhodes was the answer I was looking for. Moving on to the last round of this quiz, the last lap. Here we go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the last round of this quiz. In this particular round, nothing will appear on your screen and I will be the one who will read out the answer. However, like earlier, if you know the answer halfway through the question, you're free to press the buzzer, but I will stop reading the question right there. Scoring pattern remains the same. Last 4 questions of the semi-final. Question number 1, here we go. Ole Kirk was a humble carpenter who created toys with wood for kids. His creation was named after the Danish words for play well. Which innovative entity? Vidya, go ahead.
Lego.
Lego. Lego giving her a plus 50. Beautiful answer. Plus 50 on that. Lego is absolutely right. Moving on, the second question of this round. The Uber Cup is a championship for women in which sport? The Uber Cup, it's for women. Which sport am I referring to? Not a difficult answer again. All right. Oh, just when I was going to say time's up, Shikha, go ahead.
Badminton.
Absolutely right. Getting a plus 50 on that is Shikha. Badminton is the answer I was looking for. Moving on, question number 3. Here we go. The penultimate question of the quiz. What was introduced to the world after a research paper titled The Anatomy of a Large-Scale Hypertextual Web Search Engine? I'll repeat that. The Anatomy of a Large-Scale Hypertextual Web Search Engine. What was introduced to the world? Shikha, go ahead.
Google.
Google, she says. I thought I heard a question mark at the end of that. Plus 50 on that. Well, the last question of this quiz. Question number 4, here we go. Which ceremony held annually since 1991 is co-sponsored by Harvard Computer Society, the Harvard Radcliffe Science Fiction Association, and the Harvard Radcliffe Society of Physics students, and where throwing paper planes onto the stage is a long-standing tradition? It's a certain ceremony that has been held since 1991. Oh, the last question and no one going on that. Time's up. The answer I was looking for is the Ig Nobel Prize. The Ig Nobel Prize would have given one of them probably a positive or a negative. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have completed this semi-final, but as I predicted earlier, Vidya and Shikha are on a tiebreaker, and I have just one slot remaining in that world final. All right, teachers, Ms. Vidya and Shikha, I will ask you questions. One of you gets it right, you move it to the world final. One of you gets it wrong, and then the other person will automatically move into the world final. Good luck to the two of you. Nothing will appear on your screen, so you will have to listen to what I have to say. Tiebreaker question number 1. Here we go. Dolly was a female domestic sheep and was the first mammal. Vidya, go ahead.
To be cloned.
First mammal to be cloned, plus 50. She's absolutely right, and she has made it to the world finale. Well, congratulations, Ms. Vidya. Jeffrey, you join the three of them who have already qualified to the world finale. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this quiz was definitely a nail biter. Thank you so much for joining us on this semi-final. But don't go anywhere. Like I mentioned, we have now identified all of our world finalists, and the world final is coming up soon. So take care, and I think I will definitely see you at the world final.